Hey everybody, a quick reaction to Nuxanar and Osmond Gold. Okay, because he asks the best question I have ever heard anybody ask. And even Nuxanar says it. Gotta watch this. Gotta watch it, it's actually funny.
Listening to this speech. Encircle Israel with a ring of fire. To attack us with the horrible attack of it.
This might be a stupid question, but like, why does Iran want to destroy Israel so bad?
Ready?
Because they're Jews? I mean, is it? There's no way. Like, I mean, there's no way.
So, Iran. Let me get this correct. Because somebody misinterpreted a book at some point years and years and years ago. That's why you hate Israel and the Western, all of the Western civilization. That's why y'all are crazy.
There's no way, bro. There's gotta be another reason.
Yeah, bro, read the Quran and get back to me. Listen. Listen, bro.
Even Noxanar thinks it's absolutely hysterical because that is the stupidest reason.
All of Western civilization. Like, this is not just like your average Muslim guy. These are like the most radical Islamist people of all time. They want actual implementation of Sharia law across the world. That is literally their plan.
And guess what, boys? It ain't never gonna happen. So, to the Supreme, whatever you are, you just need to, if you're doing this, a lot of this, and you need to shut up. Just saying. Because that's a stupid, you're pissed off at the entire Western world over a book? A misinterpreted book at that? Because you do know, sir, and the rest of them, you do know that Muhammad never said that. Never said it. Muhammad never said he hated them. Never said that. You really need to rethink things and your perspective on life because you're getting close to when you would meet Allah. You know? I mean, you're pretty old. I don't know how old you are, but, you know, you're older. So I'm assuming. And you might want to get good with the big guy or whatever. Because you know what? He gonna look at you and go, that is not what I meant. Hello? It's all through the Bible and all through the... These are the chosen people. Not the... No. 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 Stop being so foolish. I mean, you can't reason we're crazy, so there's that. But big shout out to Nuxanar and Osmond Gold.
Hindus, Jews, Christians, they want the Western world to fall.
And it won't. Unless we do it ourselves.
They really are.
Because we're working that way close, quick, and fast. I would be surprised if it happened if we were our own downfall. Because these guys are probably got people in here doing a little funding there and giving the protesters and everything money. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's really what's going on. because we are going to be our own downfall. Have you seen what's going on in the U.S.? Please.
Yes, it is that simple. It's a holy war. It turns out that happened before.
It's so stupid. Holy wars are dumb. Do you understand? Holy wars are silly. They are stupid. Don't do them. Because bad things happen. And remember, whatever you do on earth comes back to 100-fold when your time on earth is done. So just keep that in mind. Because whatever you do on earth comes back to you 100-fold when your time on earth is done. You're going to have a hell of a time. And a peaceful God, a loving God, does not like ugly. A peaceful God, a loving God, does not like chaos. A peaceful God, a loving God, does not like, number one of the very first, after he talks about, God, one of the first commandments after that is thou shalt not beep. YouTube guidelines. I can't say that word, but you know what I'm saying. Thou shalt not blank, fill in the blank. And if you do, God tells you he's got a special little place for you that's awful warm in the summer and the winter. So just keep that in mind. And why do big boys like to play with big toys? Stop playing with those, uranium, plutonium, whatever it is that you use to create that thing that you're trying to create. Stop. You don't need it. And nothing but bad comes from it. Did we not learn anything from Chernobyl? Chernobyl, am I saying that right? I don't know if I am or not. But guys, come on. With this holy war nonsense and this BS, and to the United States protesters, guess what? You're being used as a pawn and you're falling for it. Why do you think they want to keep y'all busy, keeping ICE busy, keeping the police busy, keeping everything busy? And meanwhile, look what's going on over in Iran and Israel. You guys really are useful fools. I won't call you idiots like other people did, but I will say it's a bit foolish. You're useful foolishness. It's useful foolishness that you are doing. And you're doing it for the wrong people. Just so you know. Anyway, guys, it's another fabulous day in the world of chaos. People don't know how to behave. People don't know how to listen. People don't know how to think for themselves. And when it's just a bunch of brainwashing. That's all it is. It's a bunch of brainwashing. And we are about to be pulled into a third world war. And you guys are standing up against our government, which is really, you should not be allowed. When I was growing up, I made a video about this. When I was growing up, that was not even a thing. You didn't speak against your president. And you sure in the hell didn't get a movement against them or whatever this nonsense is that's going on every night. I don't care if you don't like his policies. He's your freaking president. Show some dang respect. Now, that being said, I don't care what level of law they are breaking. When they are in this country illegally, they are breaking the law. And guess what? There was a raid that was done that nobody's talking about, that was done in Nevada or Nebraska. Nebraska, I think it was, actually. Sorry. It was a warehouse where a bunch of people were working that were illegal. 107 illegal immigrants were working with fake IDs. The IDs were actually real, but they weren't their IDs. Which means, where do you think those IDs came from? They came from people who had their identity stolen. They came from people who they came from us. They came from us, the American people. People who have social security numbers. So you could be defending them right now, and they could be using your social security number, your ID, your name. Maybe think about that when you're defending them. Because these people knew that those aren't their IDs. They knew that they were working illegally, and yet they still did it. Yeah, any sympathy? Right out the window. You want to know why? Because last year my child had their identity stolen. We had gotten a phone call from a sheriff or whatever, and it was insane. Somebody in Texas had stolen my child's ID and was using their name. That could be you. And yet you keep holding up your sign and you keep protesting, and see how far that gets you. When you get a phone call from a sheriff's office in Texas or somewhere else and you've never been there in your entire life, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how you feel then, huh? Because where do you think these folks get the Social Security cards and Social Security numbers? Where do you think they get that right to work? So maybe think about that. Anyway, guys, yeah, we're about to enter World War III. Iran and Israel. Iran kicked off the Holy War, and Israel kicked off the "we're going to take you off the map" war. And it's going to pull us because, guess what? Iran has always called us the Big Satan. They have always screamed and hollered for our demise. And all of this unrest that's going on pales in comparison to them coming at us for World War III and sending us into World War III, a nuclear war. Maybe stay home instead of protesting tomorrow. Maybe stay home and actually pay attention and do the right things. Because what you're doing right now is definitely not the right things. Definitely not. Just saying. Anyway, like and subscribe for more fun. Yeah, I know this topic wasn't fun, but it had to be touched on because I saw that this morning there was a raid out of Nevada, I believe, or Nebraska. I keep saying Nevada. Sorry, Nevada. But Nebraska. They sound alike, other than the V and the B. Anyway, out of Nebraska, there was a raid. 107. And guess what? It was peaceful. It was composed. Nobody resisted. There was no chaos. There was nobody screaming or yelling. Nobody knew about it. But 107 individuals who had 107 IDs that were not their own, that were using social security numbers that were not their own. They were using the social security numbers and the IDs of American citizens. And you guys wonder why people get upset and why people are mad. If it was they could mess up your retirement even. Something stupid. Just because you don't like Trump doesn't mean he's wrong. Just saying. Because nobody had a problem with deporting anyone when Obama wanted to do it. Maybe keep that in mind. That's all I'm saying. So to those people that said that people like me are mean and people like me are hateful and people like me deserve all kinds of misery and nonsense, whatever else they said, because we feel like illegal immigration is wrong and that no country should allow illegal immigration. No country. And guess what? We're the only country that does. The UK tried to. They put that in check. Because did you see what's going on over there? You notice that all this chaos is going on around the country. There's riots in the UK over, they want to kick everybody out of their country. And the government wants to let them in. And they said absolutely not. And they're rioting because of it. And then we got what's going on here in the US with that nonsense. And then there were in Syria. And you guys are falling into the same nonsensical trap that every other country, third world country fell into. We are supposed to be a world superpower. We are currently a world joke. And it's because of the people that are within this country. There was a guy from Canada who said it. Like he could not believe what was going on in the U.S. He didn't know that the United States would fall so quickly. Unfortunately, we have people in our country who thinks it's acceptable to destroy their own communities out of stupidity, I guess. Because how does it help you to destroy your bank and your grocery store? How are you going to go get money? How are you going to go shopping? It just doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. And we're about to be kicked into World War III, and you foolish people are worried about illegal immigration and ICE instead of letting them do their jobs like you have done and others have done for many, many years. Because guess what? This has gone on forever. Since the time that it started, it's been going on. Obama, like I said, deported illegal aliens. That's what they were referred to back then. Then they got to illegal immigrants. Then they went from illegal immigrants to migrants. Then it went from that to undocumented migrants. It's just nonsense. It really, truly is. Ow, my knee. I did something to my knee. I don't know what I did. But anyway, it's just nonsensical. It truly is nonsensical. In this country, there are rules. There are laws. You don't get to pick and choose what rules you follow, what laws you break or don't break. It doesn't work that way. So maybe we can remember that instead of always fighting our president just because you don't like our president. Instead of listening to the fake news like CNN and MSNBC and ABC and all those other ones, maybe think about things like that. Important things. Because if you actually watch Trump's videos, his speeches, and actually listen to the words he's saying, and then watch CNN and watch how they twist it around and make it sound so different and so bad. It's called spin. And they have the best spinners, in my opinion. And that's not a compliment, just so you know. But, yeah, they have the best spin DJs that I've ever seen. Because I watched a couple different Trump videos and speeches, and then I saw the clips from CNN, and it was totally different than what actually happened. And this is a pretty constant, and it continues. I thought after he was elected they'll stop now. Nope. No. They just love to do that. And goodness, if he does make a mistake, man, they're on top of that shit. It's insanity. It really is. But the media and the Democratic leaders did this. They are directly responsible for making it this way. Oh, you guys have your own actions. Believe me, I get it. You are responsible for your own things. Oh, that was almost an accident. Dude, you see this big ass... hold on, guys. I got a delivery coming down the road. Hold on.